Brussels has lashed out at Boris Johnson's refusal to offer the European Union more time to ratify the post-Brexit trade deal. A top diplomat said they couldn't understand the Prime Minister's stance as bureaucrats struggle to translate the 1,246-page treaty into the bloc's 23 languages ahead of the deadline. The UK-EU Trade and Cooperation Agreement was signed on Christmas Eve, just a week before the end of the transition period. To avoid a cliff edge, both sides agreed to provisionally apply the treaty until February to give the EU time to ratify the final agreement. But EU sources have warned the bloc is set to miss the February 28 deadline agreed by Downing Street and Brussels. Responding to the potential delay, a number 10 official said the EU had been given a reasonable and proportionate length of time. This has frustrated Brussels insiders who believe they should be granted more time to scrutinize and eventually have MEPs vote to green-light the treaty. A source said, "It's quite clear that we managed to strike this deal before Christmas, and normally it takes a number of months to get all of this translated into the 20-plus languages of the EU. As far as I know, it's going to be quite difficult to achieve all of that before the end of February. I think we might have to prolong that, but I'll leave that up to the Commission. But there is no point in having a date which cannot be managed because of language difficulties. We need to go through proper procedures, and personally I would not understand why we can't prolong it by a couple of weeks to get our paperwork perfect." Earlier this week it was reported that a hold-up over the translations could prompt a request by the EU to delay the ratification process by over a month. Under consideration was MEPs voting on the deal in Strasbourg in either March or April. But officials have told them to remain ready for a last-gasp ballot at the end of this month in case Britain rejects any extension. A Downing Street source this week said, "We and the EU agreed only last month to provisionally apply the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement until February 28. The aim was to allow the EU a reasonable and proportionate length of time to ratify the agreement." Michel Barnier, the EU's former chief Brexit negotiator, has agreed to remain in place until the end of the bloc's ratification process.